Hi, everybody, and thank you so much for tuning in to Faithfully Her. I am your girl, Liana Michelle, and I'm so happy to have you guys with me today. I think I just lost my guest, so we're going to give him a minute to get back on, okay? But today, as promised, I have Mr. Craig Mitchell with us today, who is going to come and talk to us about financial freedom, credit restoration, and how we can build generational wealth for ourselves and our families. I've met Mr. Mitchell about a year or so ago, maybe not quite a year, but about a year ago. And he talked to me about his business, which is Cash Asset Management, or Cash Asset Cash. I'm sorry, CAC. His business is CAC, Cash Asset Cash. And his business is actually a subsidiary of My Econ. I don't know if you guys have seen that online or anywhere else, but it's a subsidiary of My Econ. So just to give you a little bit of a background on Mr. Mitchell, as he is logging back in with us, he is a graduate of Cooley High. He worked so yes, he is a Detroit native. So we know we love our Detroit people. He does currently reside in North Carolina, but he is a graduate of Cooley High right here in the city of Detroit. He worked for Blue Cross and Blue Shield for 16 years prior to retiring from there. He has been networking in the networking business since 1997. So he knows a lot about how to network and talk to people and, just get people involved in their own finances so they can become better people. So we're going to talk to him today and we're going to learn more about his business. And he has joined us. So everybody give a big round of applause for Mr. Craig Mitchell.
All right. How you doing?
I am so good. Thank you for taking the time with me today and just talking to us about our finances and how we could be better and more independent in the money that we're earning.
Well, thank you for having me. It's such a blessing to talk about this, something I've been doing for several years now. And anytime I have opportunity to share to individuals about finances, I think is a good thing because we know that a lot of people struggle with finances. A lot of people never was taught finances. Even if you go back to when you was in school, even when you graduated high school, going to college, they never talk really about finances. And that's why most Americans struggle today. Yes.
And you're absolutely right. Because I could just, I knew that I was in a single parent household. Mm-hmm. I knew my mom got up every day and went to work. I knew my mom paid the bills, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't understand budgeting and balancing a budget and things of that nature. I didn't know what was going on with her finances, her credit, paying the mortgage. You know what I'm saying? Like, she didn't let me into that world. And even when I got my first job at like 14, 15 years old, it was just like, okay, Michelle, you have a job. That's your money now. So what you do with it is on you. And I'm like, yay, I'm going to buy gym shoes and other clothes. And you know what I'm saying? Trying to just live in that teenage life, not thinking about tomorrow. And I can remember even graduating from high school. And when you graduate, everybody sends you a credit card. So I had like 10 credit cards by the time I was 20, and I was in bankruptcy by 23. So I think talking to this younger generation early about their finances is so important because so many of us make those same type of mistakes because we just don't know any better. And when you giving somebody something, we don't know how to say no. We're just going to keep taking it until that bill comes and we realize we spent $500 on panties and bras. And we're trying to figure out what to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand. You're right. You've been keeping it real.
So I know my son had a better advantage than I had with credit. I think my mom learned her lesson with me. So with him, she had him at the age of 10 learning how to balance a checkbook, starting his own bank account, teaching him how to deposit money and not going into that account unless you need it, and so forth. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he had a better head start with finances where I was just out there learning as I went along. So talk to me a little bit about what are some of the key things we need to know to get us set up and started.
Well, you said the key thing is to get started. And most people don't never get started. When you look at parents, my parents did the same thing. They did not teach me finances. And you look at your history, you look at your parents, you look at their parents, you look at their parents, most of them worked 30 and 40 plus years. When you combine that, you're looking at 120 years, and no one in that generation taught anybody about finances, because they were just taught to go to work, get a good education, keep your nose clean, and one day you're going to be all right. They call that the 40-40 plan, where you work 40 years for 40 hours. Then at the end of your work days, you only make 40%. Then that goes to generation to generation. The good thing with your son, he was taught by your mom at an early age. I remember at that age, your son I was in what they call junior achievement. I don't know if they still had that. They taught us how to write a checkbook, how to deposit money into a bank account and things like that. And then to your question, how to get started, once again, you got to get started. And people don't think about that. They're thinking about, like you said, going out buying things that they need, but they really don't need. A lot of ladies, they go out, and most of them, they buy shoes, okay? Men go out and buy suits or whatever, watches. I started collecting watches over the years. I buy things, and a lot of men, they buy toys like cars, fancy things, so they can catch the women and things like that. So those are these things, we call it taking your cash and turn it into trash. Okay. And we don't need to do that in order to become where we need to be. So I feel the first thing to do is to get started. And to get started, you got to have a plan. And if you plan the right way, and you got to have mentors, people who have paved the way. Nothing against a parent because they didn't know. You got to go outside your family members, because most of your family members are going to be negative. Most of your neighbors, they call them Nosy Mary and Know-It-All Joe. They're not going to give you the right information. So you got to find you a strong mentor, someone who has done it, paved the path, and you need to be a sponge. A sponge is like when you put it in the water, it soaks it up. And you got to be ready to be a student. For when a person teaches you, you'll be able to learn everything that they know. And that's what I did, because right out of high school, I never really went to school. I went 1 year or a semester at Wayne State University. I'll never forget. I didn't like that. And school is not for everybody. And I'm not knocking school. I think you should get a good education. But I got my education from knowledge of reading myself, listening to millionaires, surrounding myself with positive people who are doing things. And that's where I got most of my knowledge, my education. And I spread that out through my daughter, who is now 38. I bought her a business. Now she's teaching it to her daughter, which is my 6-year-old granddaughter. So she'll have an opportunity to be successful and not fall in some things that we fell into as adults.
Right. And that's good that you're saying, as far as teaching, your daughter is teaching her daughter now. Because I can even remember the first real conversation Trey and I had about finances. I think he was like 13. And every other week he was asking me for money for shoes. Like and it's my fault. I gave him a shoe habit, because I have a shoe habit. So he mimics that. And it was always hard for me to tell him no. But then I'm like, okay, money is getting a little tight. I can't keep throwing you $200 every other week on these for shoes. You know what I'm saying? So I remember I sat him down at the dining room table one day, and I gave him all the bills for the month. And I gave him my paycheck. And I said, now, if you could get all the bills paid and still find your 200, you can have it. And that is what made him see, like, okay, she's not made of money. It's not growing on trees. She can't go in the backyard and go get a duffel bag. And you know what I'm saying? It's full of cash or anything like that. And then he changed his mindset and said, well, let me get a job. And I was so against him working because, he was at Renaissance. All I wanted him to do was graduate from Renaissance with high marks and go to college. And I had always told him, I will shoulder the world for you. So you don't have to stress nothing. I will shoulder the world. So for me, him getting a job was almost me saying, I can't handle this, so you carry it. And I didn't want that for him. You know what I'm saying? And it was his grandfather that said, no, allow him to get a job. He needs to be a man. He needs to understand the value of money, making it, saving it, earning it on his own. Let him be a man. And I went ahead on and let him get a job. And my baby has never stopped working. Like he's 26 now. He got his first job at 15 and he's been working ever since. And he saves his money. He reinvests in himself. He's not just frivolous out here like I thought he would be, but he's so strategic because he's the one that's earning it. When it was my money, it was just like, let's just spend. But now with him earning his own money, he began to be so strategic and tight and wouldn't spend money. He would count every dollar and know where it's going. And like I said, he started investing in himself and so forth. So I think it's really important to kind of teach them that, like you said, early on. So kudos to your daughter for getting her 6-year-old involved in understanding what money is. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't always recognize what money really is. We just think it's just made for spending.
That is true. And you just said exactly what I said. You told your son to go to school, focus on your education. And then when you get the education, go and get you a job. And that's what people are saying. They don't say, focus on your education, get all the knowledge you can and go get a business. No one says that. No one says go get a business, because business owners are the wealthiest. Name one person that has a job that's wealthy. I always ask that question and no one can tell me that. People make 6 figures on their job, but they're not wealthy, because guess what? Someone's paying you 6 figures. So you know they're making more than 6 figures.
Right.
And they're not even doing the job. They're paying you that money. So a business owner is the key. And that's when I learned that years ago, that business owner was the key to wealth, to get rich. That's when I really started focusing on doing that. And that's where I'm at today.
Okay, so let's talk more about cash, asset, cash, CAC. I used to work for a company called CAC, but we was a car collection.
Oh yeah, I heard of them.
Yeah, I used to help repo cars back in the day. But let's talk about your CAC and just break it down for us.
Well, cash asset cash is simple. It's a process where you take some cash and you buy an asset. The asset could be apartment building. It could be a laundromat. It could be houses. It could be something that you're going to make residual income from. So when you take the cash, you buy an asset, that asset turns back into more cash, and then you turn that cycle back around. That's where you get cash, asset, cash. So you got to have assets. And most people don't have any assets. They just have a bunch of liabilities. And a liability is something that just keep coming out, going out, going out, going out, going out. Whereas an asset is going to pay you on a monthly basis, on a daily basis. That is what asset is. And that's what we teach here at Cash, Asset, Cash, how to get your money, how to make more money, and then save up to buy you an asset. And then take that asset and then go buy and get more cash and repeat that cycle.
So, okay, so you say take your cash and buy an asset, and you name some big purchases. Mm-hmm. So for someone who doesn't have money like that to purchase big assets, how do they make that work on their, I put a question in my group that asks what the average income, like what do people think the average dollar amount of an income is for a household? And pretty much I got 40,000 as the consensus of $40,000 a year is the average income. So if that's the average income and I'm paying mortgage, or I have kids, I have in-home bills, so forth and so on, how do I get money from that to invest or to purchase an asset? If you're talking about an apartment building or another house, you know, and like those are big purchases. So how do I find that money through your
several ways? See, most people who make $40,000 and they're single parents, they're really not making 40,000, because when you look at it, 40,000 is just on paper.
Right.
When you look at the amount of money that comes into your household, when you look at the taxes that you pay, it's only 28,000 or so. So what you can do, you have to take the taxes away or get out your pocket and get the taxes back into your household. Have you ever looked at your paycheck and you see the gross and you see the net? Most people say, wow, what if I can just get the gross? So we show a person at Cash Asset Cash how to get that gross money, because a lot of taxes not being taken out your check. Then when you get that money, then you can start investing. And people think investing is you got to have thousands and thousands of dollars. That's not true. There's companies out there right now called Robinhood, Stash. You can start off as low as $5.
Yep, I
And that's when
have.
you go back to saying you got to get started. When you start making small investments and make the right investments, then your money can start growing over a period of time. Now, we're not telling people to run out and buy apartment buildings today, but over a course of a period of time, let's say 10, 15 years, and you started investing with the amount of money that you're saving on taxes, the amount of money you're making in business income and income shifting, then you can take that money and maybe you might want to partner with somebody. You might have a girlfriend or a good friend who's doing the same thing. Now you guys can pool your money together. Say you got 5,000, they got 5,000. So that's $10,000 to $15,000 together. Now you can go get those big purchases. And that's where good credit come in. You can buy those purchases and you can get at a lower interest rate. And now you have you another asset. And then there you go. Start that process.
Okay, so you mentioned something. You said income shifting. Can you explain to us what income shifting is?
Yes, income shifting is when you take your money, your income, and you shift it back into your house. Because every month a person has residual bills, car note, insurance, mortgage, rent, phone bill. Those are bills that are going out your door every time you get paid. See, you're part of the residual income, but there's no residual income coming back. So we teach a person how to keep that money in their household by doing some simple things. What if you had a car insurance and you're only having a $250 deductible? We say raise that deductible to $1,000. That's going to save you anywhere between $40, $50, $60 per month. That's income shifting the money back into your household. And now you can start putting it into emergency fund. Some people have cable. I heard people have cable bills of $250 a month. Cut the cable, get a Fire Stick. You can still get all the same shows that you get on cable. So just get the internet access at $50. So now you took $250, cut it to 50. So now you take that 200 and start putting that away. So already just those two things alone, you save $250. So there's other things you can do as far as your homeowner's insurance. You can cut that by raising the deductible. You can start, instead of getting your hair cut every week, go every other week. Instead of getting your hair done every week, or your nails, because nails, mani-pedi for a woman, because mine, they cost $65 every time I go. The women are a little higher. They're higher because they probably get to acrylic. They getting all these little designs. It may be $100. If you do that every week, that's $400 a month. Cut it in half. Now it's only $200 a month. I'm not saying you don't want to look good, but just kind of cut back a little bit and start saving. Shift that money that's going out and shift the money coming back. And now you can start having more money in your household to do other things like eliminate some debt. See, when you eliminate debt, that brings more money back to your household. You have 4 or 5 different debts out there, credit card, furniture bills, and things like that. I want you to start eliminating those debt. So those monthly payments, that's all money shifting back into your household. And that's primarily what income shifting does for a person.
Okay. And that does make sense, because I know even for me, I cut, like, my mani-pedis are $70. So instead of me going every week or every other week, I cut it down to every 3 weeks. So so it's pretty much once a month now that I go, and that seems to be working. Because at first I was like, oh my God, they're gonna start looking old and crazy. but they actually are holding, you know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
not as bad. I think we just get so conditioned in that it has to be every week or it has to be every 2 weeks that we don't understand that if we delay it for another week, it's not going to hurt us. You know what I mean? So I could understand cutting some things out. And even with the cable bill, I went and got a Fire Stick and can't figure it out. I can't understand it. So I couldn't let my cable go because I don't know how to work the Fire Stick. So I'm gonna just recommend anybody get a Fire Stick. Make sure you get somebody that could come and sit down with you and explain how to work that Fire Stick because it's confused. And this is the second Fire Stick I purchased, and I
Wow.
still don't understand what it's just too many different options. And I just want to click on what I want to click on and watch it. But that's totally off the subject. So that's
Well,
just
yeah,
me and
that's a
my
user
non-technical.
error. That's a user error, and you can get that if you get over there. If you're spending all that money, eventually you're going to learn it because that's money you can save. And then when you cut back on your mani-pedi, what are you doing with the extra money that you save? Are you putting it to eliminate debt? Are you putting it into an emergency fund?
Yep. So now instead of me spending $140 a month on nails, I'm only spending 70, and that additional 70 is going to medical bills. So, stuff like that. So yeah, just reallocating those funds that I would be spending on other stuff. And then when I finish with one debt, or once I paid one thing off, I don't just be like, yay, let's spend this money. I take that money and then allocate it towards something else. So
That's
I'm
correct.
constantly just not recycling, but you know what I'm saying? Just putting money where it needs to be so I can just get other things taken care of and removed and out the way. So I can get to a point where the money I'm actually saving can actually look like a savings, and it can actually start producing some other things.
That is so true. One of the systems that we offer here at my company, we have a debt elimination software system where you can actually put all your debt into the system, and it will calculate for you the interest rate, the monthly payment. So when you start paying off the debt, it show you how to take that extra money and start paying off more debt. And then also we teach you, instead of putting that money into a savings account, to put it into some type of high yield mutual fund or something like that to give you better interest. Because if you look at the money that you're putting in a savings account is getting what, 0.01% interest. You're not even getting 1% interest. When you look at the rule of 72, which most people, 90% don't know what that means. Even people who work in the banking industry don't know what it means. You take 72 and divide it by the interest rate that you're getting from your bank. It's going to tell you how many years your money is going to double. So for example, if you're getting 2%, which you're not at a bank for your savings, you divide that by 72, what does that come up to?
Are you asking me math?
What's half of 72? 36, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So you
36.
take 2 divided by 72, right? That's 36. So if you put $1 in the bank, it's going to take that dollar 36 years to double to $2.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that is why we say, don't put your money in the bank. You could put it there if you want to keep pulling it out, just, do a few things with it, but don't use it as to put all your money in there, because you're not getting the interest rate that's going to help you go to the next level. That's why you want to always put into a high yield investment where you can get 8, 10, 12% interest. And then if you divide 12 into 72, that comes out to 6 years. So if you put $1 in 6 years, you get 2. That's just a small example. So that's why other reason why people fail, because their money just sitting in a place not getting any interest.
Right. You also mentioned about investing and the different apps, Robinhood, Acorn, Stash. And even if you have Cash App, you can invest through Cash App now. They offer that option as well. It's something that I started doing last year. And I always wanted to own stock. I could just remember being younger saying, I want to own a piece of the rock. You know what I'm saying? Remember that, what was that, Prudential?
Yes.
Insurance, and own a piece of the rock. So I used to always think like, oh, I want to own a piece of the rock. Not really understanding what that meant. Just knew that I wanted it. And last year I did, my little research, and I did start investing through all of those apps. Actually, I have a little bit, but different stocks or whatever in each of them. And I started off with $10. And every other month I would invest another 10, this this week I paid off this, you know what, I'm gonna throw $10 over here,
Right.
and little stuff like that. And a year later, I'm sitting back and I'm looking at my statements and I'm like, dang, I made a nice little penny off of $10 here, $20 there, $5 over here, and just kind of adding to it along the way. And I've made like a nice little amount. So what I did was I took that money actually and just reflipped it back into it. I didn't take it out. I didn't like have it transferred to my account or anything like that. I said, nope, this is money I don't need to touch. So let me just reinvest it and buy more shares here and more shares there, more Bitcoins and so forth. So investing is a good thing. And I would recommend to people, if you don't have the $1,000 to buy one share of Tesla, then go ahead on and put $10 on it. Because that's how I've started with Tesla. I started with a $20 purchase of stock. And then I just kept adding to Tesla because I think their shares is like almost $1,100 a share. So, I'm building up to that full amount of that share, but I can already see where it's not as much money, but when they go up, I see how it benefits for me and so forth. So, that is something to just think about, people. If you're looking at a way to just invest, then you don't have to worry about it. And that money can sit there. And next thing you know, you'll have a little grip that you're sitting on. And you can do those big asset purchases like that apartment building my man, Mr. Mitchell, was talking to us about.
Yeah, that is phenomenal. We always used to, you say own a piece of the rock. We say own a piece of America. And here's what we mean by that. Remember you said your son used to buy all those gym shoes, right? We say, well, why don't you own some of that stock? Whatever you frequent the most, if you drive a Ford, a Honda, whatever car, if you go to Bank of America, Chase, whatever, own those pieces of the company. So if you're going to do business with them, why not have stock in them? See, I go to the movies and guess what I bought? I bought Walt Disney. So when you guys are going to see all these Disney movies, I said, when Black Panther came out, I said, hey, keep going. Everybody go see Black Panther. I get paid every time that happens. And right. I own companies that I do business with. If you're going to have an iPhone, why not own Apple?
Yeah.
Okay? So that's what people have to do. They got to own a piece of America. And like you said, if it only is $10, that's a start. Yeah. And that's a good thing.
Yeah. So thank you. So let's talk about that then. When we look at credit versus cash, we all know that if you want to make a big purchase, your credit has to be right. So I can remember when I filed bankruptcy. After that, I was just like, okay, no more credit cards, everything, no more credit cards, no more checks, nothing. Everything I do would be cash. I did establish, a savings account only because I did not want to be like, I didn't want anything linked to what wasn't paid right then and there. So I only operated in cash for like 10 years. Everything I did was cash. And even now, I'm pretty much the same way. Like I do have a credit card, but I only use it to travel. And then I pay that off and I stick it in the drawer. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, everything I still do is a cash transaction. So what can you talk to us about, the importance of credit versus cash on hand? And is it okay for me to just keep doing cash?
It's always good to have cash because even in the midst of a storm, because down here in North Carolina, we're going through a storm circumstance where people, we're going to lose a lot of power. They told everybody go out and get some cash so you can have some cash on hand because the systems may not work for credit cards. But remember back in the day, they used to say cash is king. But right now, credit is king.
Right.
Okay. If you don't have good credit, you're not going to do too much in life as far as trying to purchase something that with a lower interest rate. Because when you have credit that's what they call not too good in the 600s, you can purchase a car, you can purchase a house. But guess what? Your interest rate is going to be in the double digits. People say, well, at least I got a car, I'm riding. But guess what? If I have a 750, 800 credit score and you got a 600, I buy that same car. My interest rate is 1.9 and yours is 10.9. You paying $628 a month for the same vehicle that I'm paying $300 a month. That's a $300 difference. And when you take that over a course of a 48, 60 months, 72-month term, you're doubling the amount of that car. So a $35,000 car over the course of that system, you're paying $70,000 because your credit was marginal. So that's why credit is so good. Just like in a house, you go try to buy a house, they're going to look at your credit and say, okay, we'll let you have this house. But guess what? Your interest rate is going to be 6.9 or 7% or even higher. Whereas an average interest rate with good credit is 1.9%. So why would you want to pay that much extra for a house, and you don't have to, where you can get your credit up? And then with poor credit, even in Michigan, I remember when I lived there 7 years ago, I don't know if they do it now, but just to get auto insurance, they check your credit.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Mm-hmm. Even if you're trying to apply for a job now, they check your credit. They don't see how much cash you got, right? They see what your credit look like. So that's why credit is key. And I remember when I was out there dating, I used to ask women what their credit score were. So if you got a 550 credit score, I'm like an employer, you got a 550 and I'm walking around with a 750. That means something's going on. You ain't paying something, or you going through some challenges. So I kind of like, and I'm being facetious, but sometimes guys do that and women do the same thing. So
wait, I was gonna say that. Now, if I'm a woman and I'm out here on the date and I ask a brother what his credit score is, I'm gonna get ripped. Oh, she a gold digger. She just want my money. She all up in my business. I'm gonna get ripped.
Good.
So to hear it from a man saying that he would ask a woman, thank you for, backing us up in here and letting credit is important. And it is an important question. If you're dating somebody and you're trying to move it to the next level.
Yeah, because why would you want to date a person with the potential? Because dating is nothing what people are trying to see. Perhaps they might eventually go down the road and get married. So you date a guy and he has poor credit and he has $60,000 to $70,000 in debt, and you're going to marry that?
Ooh, no.
I don't care how much you love him, how good he look, what kind of car he drive, what he say to you. You about to marry $60,000 in debt, and mind you, you have zero debt. That ain't gonna work.
No, it's not.
That ain't work with me because I don't have any debt. My utilization is under 30%. I worked hard to get an 800 credit score. So why would I go out and get a 500 credit score person and start all over? Because that's something I marry. I got to help them get rid of it. I don't think I want to go back at my age to help pay all that.
I heard that. And I could remember just especially back in the day, and we would talk about, me and my girlfriends or whatever, and we'll talk about these guys who, you meet them, like you said, the car is nice, they dress nice, they fly and everything. And then you find out that they're living in their mom's basement. And It's like, whoa, wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like, you out here driving the most expensive car, you got these fat rims, you know what I'm saying? You Gucci down from head to toe, but at night you turning the key at your mama's house. So why don't you own your own house, or why don't you have a place of your own, even if it's an apartment or whatever? Why are you living at your mom's house if you have all of this wealth? So that would be like a big red flag and turn off for me.
Yeah, these guys out here flossing and trying to see. They go to, I don't know if Floods is still open down in Detroit. They used to go up in Floods. They pull out the black card and they try to buy all the drinks and they do all this. And when they leave out,
they go into their mama's basement.
Going to their mama's basement. That ain't good. That's crazy. That's some crazy shiggity, as they used to say.
Right. Like, that is such a deception. And then, and I always look at it like, you have to at least be able to match what I bring to the table. Right. And maybe if you can match what I bring, then we could figure out together how to increase it and make it more and make it better. But you at least have to match me at the minimum. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would prefer for you to come with more, but an equal match, I'm good with that. And we could work from there. And I would get, I get a lot of or I've had a lot of situations with guys where they would say that, like, you know what, I like you and I would like us to move forward, but I can't do what you do. I'm not bringing what you bringing. I don't have what you have. So I feel uncomfortable trying to move forward in a situation. And even though in that moment I might be a little irritated, like, well, man up then. But I can respect the fact that at least they're honest enough to recognize and understand that they can't match me at that table.
Right. You always got to have someone who brings something to the table instead of just a napkin.
Right.
Okay? So they got to bring a little bit more than that. And I applaud you for that. And a lot of ladies, they settle. And that's what's wrong with what's going on out here. These women are settling for these men that just look good, talk good, perpetrate a fraud, and they get themselves caught up, and that's where they get hurt.
You know, I think having a son benefited me because I didn't want my son to see me with less than I expected of him, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So if I'm raising a gentleman, I'm raising a man, I'm raising a positive, productive member of society. I'm not raising somebody that's standing on the corner with his pants sagging and he's smoking blunts all day. I'm raising somebody that has a mind and that's using his mind for the good.
That's right.
And so forth. So I can't allow him to see me with a man that's sitting at home all day, drinking, smoking, watching TV, not doing, like, no, because my son would look at me and be like, why is he here? You know what I'm saying? So I think that helped me a lot in not settling, not just saying, oh my God, I just want a man so bad, so I'm just going to go and take ragamuffin. No, because I didn't want my son to be a ragamuffin, I have to look for excellence. I have to look for that king mentality, those king type actions from a brother, because that's the example I would want for him. So I think a lot of times with women, if we look at what we want for our kids, sometimes it'll make you stop what you're doing for yourself and change that up. And it'll make you get out of your own way. Because sometimes I think we'll think about what we want so much that we don't think about what we want our kids to see. And my mother used to always say, do as I say, not as I do. And that's a reality. Kids look at what their parents do and they mimic it. So, you know, parents, just be careful of what you're putting out there in front of your babies, even when it comes down to finances. Let them see you budgeting. Let them understand how that dollar is being stretched and so forth, so they can get a concept and an understanding of money. I tell my friends, stop giving your kids everything and they're not working for nothing. They'll never understand the value of that dollar.
That's right.
They should have chores around the house. They should be cleaning up. Like, I'm not telling them to go and change all 4 tires, but if it's a shovel outside, it's snow on the ground, why they can't go shovel that snow? You know what I'm saying? Like, give them chores, teach them the value of a dollar. If that kid can just walk up to you and say, I want, and you just keep giving, what's the lesson in that? They're going to go out in the world and expect for things to be given to them, and they're going to get a big rude awakening when they realize they have to work. Nobody is going to give them anything. So I think that's just important to know too with our raising of our babies.
Right. And they say, well, if a man or a kid don't work, they don't eat. And I tell ladies all the time, you know, if you want a Boaz, you gotta leave the bozos alone. And that's the only way you're going to be successful. And what you just said, as far as working, which ties into something else, most parents don't know that you can pay your child for working in your house. The IRS says if a child does domestic chores in a parent's household, they can get paid for that. So you can a child can get paid, and you can pay them up to $1,200 per child. So if you got 2, 3, 4, or even 1 child, just imagine $1,200 per month. That's a stimulus check you get every month, and you can write that off on your taxes. But in order to do that, you got to have a business. That's why I tell people to join me in business, so I can teach them how to do that the proper way and write that off on your taxes just by your child. You're going to clothe them. You're going to feed them. They're going to go to football camp, cheerleading. They're going to do all these extracurricular activities that you're going to pay for. Why not write that off on your taxes as a business deduction for your child? Because they don't pay no federal taxes because they're under the age of 17. And that's one of the things we teach as well.
Wow. Now, I didn't know that. I didn't
Yeah.
know that part of it. So let's get more into CAC. How does somebody get started, and then what can they expect once they're there?
Well, once they get started, or how to get started, is to join my team. And when they get started, they're going to get my expertise, my multiple years of training and networking. You're going to get that by me not working a job. You can get me at almost any hour of the day. I try to shut the phone off about 10:30, 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time and pick it back up around 8 the next day. But you get my expertise. The other thing you're going to learn how to do credit, how to get your credit from where it is currently to 750 plus. We all use 750 plus. You may get up to 802 like myself if we do the right things, but you got to be ready to be coachable. You got to be ready to learn, because a lot of people, I had a young man join my team last Friday. And as of today, this Saturday, I have not heard from him. He called me and blew my phone up, said he want to get his credit straight. He was paying a company $99 a month to get his credit straight. He paid that company for 14 months and his credit score is still only 625. That's $1,400 plus dollars he has wasted. I said, you come over here, I can show you how the next 90 days get your score to 750. I have not heard from the gentleman, and he joined me in. So you got to be willing to do a little work, do a little sacrifice, learn everything that I want to teach you and our leaders teach you. You can get your credit up. We can teach you how to pay your children. We can show you how to put more money in your paycheck, because most people, I think it was 65% of people said they would not have filed bankruptcy if they had an extra $300 a month. We can show a person working a job how to get an extra $200, $500, maybe up to $1,000 per month back into your household just by correcting their W-4. Then we can show them the software system, how they can start tracking their mileage. If you're going to drive every day to the store, back and forth to work, stop off at McDonald's, Starbucks, wherever, why not get paid 57 cents a mile? If you're driving anyway, get paid for it. We show you how to do it. If you're going to the family reunion, why not write it off for your airfare, hotel, rent-a-car, Uber, food? If you're doing that anyway, why not write that off and get that money back? We teach all that with the cash asset cash system. These are the things allow you to do investing. We have investment education. We can teach you the difference between a stock, a bond, mutual fund, T-bills, all these different stock terms. So when it's time for you to invest, you have the knowledge so someone won't bamboozle you and just tell you anything or sell you anything. So wait a minute, I know a little bit more about that than they think, because they're betting that you don't know much. They think, well, he's the expert, I'm just gonna give him my money and he's gonna invest for me. But if you have the knowledge, when you go in there, now you guys can talk shop. He can't just say anything to you and you just go for it. So we teach you investment. We teach you how to get your credit up, teach you how to eliminate debt. We show you how to give you a plan where you can see when you're gonna be debt free. We can show you that plan. We show you how to track all your miles. We show you how to pay your children. So these are the things that we can show you. And for being on this show, we have a special, $19.95 to start. And then we can show you how to write that off on your taxes. So in essence, you're doing business for zero. Then after 30 days, you pay $39.95. People say, well, Craig, why am I paying $39.95? Because once you start, you don't want to stop. Because if I show you how to get extra $500 a month, when do you stop paying $39.95? So that's why I share with a person, they're paying gym membership, Sam Club membership, and they're not getting anything. This membership over here for $39.95, which I'm gonna show you how to write it off, once again, is business and tax deductible. So you're doing business for zero and get my expertise and all the software that we provide you so you can be successful.
Now, I know you say, okay, so I signed up for 1995 and I am getting, and I'm paying the 39.95 per month and I'm getting my own business. Is that what you're saying? I get to create my own business under CAC?
Well, actually, it'll be under my econ. So each person has their own business name, or they can just have their own name. Because everybody, what they call a sole proprietor in my econ, where you take your own name, your own social, and use as a sole proprietor, and we pay you, and you give you at the end of the year a 1099, where you can send that to the IRS. So you'll have your own name under. You still be under cash asset cash, but it'll still be under the umbrella of the parent company of MyEcon, because the software system is designed through the MyEcon portal, which allows a person to get all the things that I just mentioned.
Okay, so is MyEcon as the parent, CAC is the subsidiary, and then I would be an extension or a subsidiary of CAC?
That's correct.
Okay, so as an independent business person under that umbrella, am I selling what, like what do I get to determine what the business is? Do it have to be what is already established through the parent company? Like, how does that really lay out?
That is correct. You still do everything under the business, under the parent company, because that system has been around for 20 plus years. And we have paid out over $600 million to our distributors. So we know what works. We have a proven system. So you follow our system in order to be successful. We have other products and services that we do market. A person can sell roadside assistance. We sell hand sanitizer, identity theft protection. We have a travel portal that you can use. We have health nutrition products that you can market under there. So yes, you have to do everything under our umbrella. So you couldn't like branch off and say, I'm ABC company, I'm gonna start selling hubcaps through MyEcon. No, because that's not one of our products. Okay. So you have to sell everything under that umbrella in order to be successful with the things that we teach or represent.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. So like I couldn't come and start selling my Faithfully Her t-shirts. No. Because you guys do not sell t-shirts.
That's correct.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to kind of make sure that was plain for everybody and everybody understood exactly that. Because sometimes, you'll get somebody that wants to be an independent business owner. Oh, I want to own my own business. I have a great idea. They might listen to this and think this is a great way to get their business started. And then they don't realize that they have to sell the products that are offered through your company. They can't invent and create the wheel and sell because the wheel is already being sold over here. So, right. Okay.
Right. What I suggest that you can still do your own idea. I would not stop a person from doing their own thing on their side. I say, come over here and get the knowledge. Okay. Because you may not know how to sell t-shirts over here. You might not know the marketing strategy. You might not know how to do distribution, but come over here and learn from us. Okay. And then take that information that you have here and go and do that. Because through MyEcon and cash asset cash, I branched out and did other things, and I'm doing other things from the knowledge that I have through this business.
Okay. Now y'all hear that, right? And I think that is smart, because like with me starting Faithfully Her with no knowledge, no business expertise, no business knowledge, my whole educational background, criminal justice, psychology, mental health, you know what I'm saying? So nothing about business. So it's a lot of trial and error. It's a lot of tripping over my feet, trying like, why didn't this work? Or what I thought they said I needed to do, and that's not what's happening. So if you guys want to learn how to be an independent business owner and you're not sure as to what to do and how to do it, what Mr. Mitchell is saying is that he can give you a blueprint.
Yes.
As to how to be that independent business person and everything you would need to know for assets, to things that you have to pay out, distribution. Because like now I'm doing, I'm getting merchandise done. So that's a whole nother different thing, right? Because I have to not only buy the product, but then I have to pay the person that's designing them. And
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? So I have to factor all of that into cost. And then if they're an out of state person, I have to factor in what is that shipping cost going to look like. So it's a lot of different things. And then when you're talking about tax time, how do I put all of that on this tax sheet so I can get that money? You know what I mean? So if you want to know, and as y'all saw, I couldn't even tell you what 72 divided by 2 was. I had to go to my calculator. So if you're anything like me, you might want to be talking to Mr. Mitchell, getting signed up, and getting that education on how to do a business the right way so you could be successful and you can actually earn from it.
That's right. Because even social media, a lot of people are on Instagram, Facebook, they're doing TikTok. We have a system in place where we teach a person how to do social media marketing. You can do it, and you can learn these techniques for your own business, not only just with through my econ, because we do market it through there, but we teach you, and you can take that knowledge and learn how to do it. I have not got real good on TikTok. I'm learning, but some people who are really good at TikTok, we could teach you how to do it. We have the videos in place. We have everything, like you said, the blueprint for you to be successful in my econ and any other business that you want to. And the beauty of all this is done through this device right here. Everybody has a smartphone. All our software system, all you do is click on it and do this sitting at your home, even though I'm at home now. If you're on the road, you're on a plane, you can just click on this and do business, and you can be successful. Because everything, as far as you said, your taxes at the end of the year, because right now it's tax time. People are taking a box full of receipts into their tax preparer that's all worn out, trying to get them to figure out their taxes. With this system here, it's already in here. We don't have any receipts. All you got to do is click on the receipt. If it's under $75, it goes into your system. When it goes into your system at the end of the year, everything that you did for the year, you click one button, print it out, and hand that person one sheet of paper, and he'll love you for that.
Okay, yeah. And I actually like that feature. I think that was like the most ingenious thing ever. Oh my God, why can't I think of Beauty for Ashes?
Yes.
I think I know who you, I can't remember her actual name right now, but
Summer.
I know that that's her site, Beauty for Ashes.
That's Summer.
Summer, yes. I remember she and I met a couple of years ago, and we went out to dinner or lunch or something just to meet, and kind of, that was my first introduction to my econ. And I remember her having her app and like taking a picture. She was like, no, I'll get the, because I was like, oh, you know, I'll pay. She was like, nope, I got it. And she took that receipt and put it right into that app, and it was a business expense because of course we were talking business, and she was just explaining that. So even now I do that. I keep, you know, I take that picture of those receipts and I hold on to those things. And because I'm like, that's a business situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't just go to Red Lobster for the fun of it. I went and I met with this person and we discussed these things. And I'm like, nope, I'll get the receipt on that, you know, and I'll take that. Because, and that was a tip that she taught me. So, you know, when you guys going out and y'all popping bottles or whatever, if a hint of business comes up, then that's a business, you know, that's a business meeting, and you could pick that expense up.
And that's what the IRS says. If you just attempt to conduct business, you sit there and you talk a little bit about business, you might have passed out a card, you might be sitting around 5, 6 people and you talking to them about business. That could be a presentation. No one joined your business, but you attempted it. So now you just put in the system, I talked to A, B, C, and D, put that into the system. See, the IRS says you got to have accurate records. Mm-hmm. Your accurate records is all part of the system that's in here. So when you and Summer went to lunch, that travel from wherever she came from to that location. So now the mileage is tax deductible because she's at a temporary work location. So the food is, you can write that off. So wherever she's going after that, she's calculating miles as well, because that's all part of generating more business mileage. So it's a beautiful thing. So a person who's not in business, they're doing themselves a disservice. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with the job, because a job, let me just tell you real quick what the difference is. A job is what they call linear pay. meaning you clock in, when you clock out, your money clock out with you. And you don't clock back in, you don't get no more money. Like most people who don't work on weekends, they work a job from Monday through Friday, they're not making any money. So you want to put yourself on a residual or the leverage income. See, residual, like I told you before, you make money off of things that you done yesterday, day before. I'm still getting paid today on money of things I did 10 and 15 years ago. Just like when you got your utility bill, I think you guys have DTE down there, remember?
Mm-hmm.
So when DTE turned your lights on, they left them on. DTE don't come to your house every day, knock on the door and say, hey, I need you to turn the lights back on. They're still there, but you got to pay them. That's residual, okay? So that's what's good about residual income. And then leverage income, just like when you go to job, you're not the only person working at that job. You got co-workers. And the owner of that company is leveraging your talents, your time, and your efforts every day, paying you 10 to 15, 20 people, and he's getting paid the most money. J. Paul Getty said, I'd rather get 1% of 100 people's effort than 100% of my own. And at that time, he was the wealthiest man in America. Can you notice, everywhere you drive, you see a McDonald's, you see a Wendy's, you see a White Castle, you see Aldi, you see a Walmart. In any state you go to, when you go see your son in Atlanta, do you see a Walmart? Do you see a McDonald's? Do you see Burger King? They're all over the place. They're distribution outlets. So you want to put yourself in a position to get paid off of other people. That's why myself, I get paid off of people all over the country, Alabama, Indiana, Ohio, Iowa, Michigan, North Carolina. I'm getting paid every single month. At the first of the month, I get a check for everything that those people do, just like the big corporations do.
Right. That's okay. So we've talked about credit. We've talked about cash and credit, the importance of both of them, income shifting, which is major. So you're giving, so let's talk about this. How long is this 1995 sign-up deal?
February 1st.
So it ends February 1st?
Yeah, it was a first of the year special, the first 31 days, or how many days in January, I was going to run this deal. I may extend it, but I know for now, February 1st, $19.95. So people will say, well, Craig, I don't have $19.95. That's okay. Give me a call. Let's talk about it. I might be able to help you because I don't want anybody to be left behind. I might be able to have a coupon or two somewhere for $15. Might be able to give a person a coupon and it'll only cost them $4.95. I don't know. I don't know how many I have. I had to call my corporate office to see if I can get some. But right now, $19.95, that's $20. Valentine's Day is coming up. People are going to spend that on flowers, a dozen roses, and they're going to die after so many days. You spend $19.95 with me, I'm going to show you how to make hundreds and maybe thousands of dollars every single month. So if you got $19.95, if you don't, go get it. You borrow money for everything else, go borrow $20 from somebody and let me show you how to get paid.
Now, before I let you go, I do want to do this because this was a question. Yes. And I just kind of want you to clarify this.
Yes.
You have, I don't really recall the name, but there's another company out there that I've seen on Facebook, and they're promoting, we could build your credit. We can, get you to a 750, blah, 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 blah. And I did a little research into them and, kind of talked to somebody and so forth. And it was more of a pyramid scheme for me. Because it was, okay, you're going to come in at this amount of money and we're going to have a network of people that's working on your behalf to fix your credit, so forth and so on. And while we're over here doing this, it's your job to go over here and get Sally to sign up. And if Sally signs up, then we'll pay you $10. And then if Sally gets somebody else to sign up, then we'll give you $20 and so forth and so on. So it was like you would not make any money unless you were signing other people up. Regardless of what they're saying they're doing to fix your credit, the whole part of we're going to get you financially free was based on how many people I actually signed up behind me. So a lot of people are leery of those type of things, because if I'm not good at selling or convincing somebody, then all I'm doing is giving you money, and I'm never going to make anything in return. So talk to us and let us know what separates you guys from that type of a pyramid mentality.
Well, I think the company you're speaking of is based out of Michigan, right?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Because I know you and I talked about that before.
Yeah,
So
they're in Farmington Hills. I'm not going to mention their name. I know exactly they are. It's like $299 a start, something like that, and $99 a month. Okay. They do your credit for you. Our system is a DIY, do it yourself. I don't look at any of your information. I don't know what's on your credit report. We have a system that can teach you in 25 minutes or less how to get your credit to where it needs to be. We show you all the credit 609 letters, what they call them. We provide you all the letters. All you got to do is, if you know how to cut and paste, put your information in there, hit the print button, print the letter out, put in an envelope, address, Experian, TransUnion, or Equifax, send it to them. You can be successful. Now, in terms of the pyramid, what is a pyramid? That's my question to you. What is a pyramid?
Well, back in the day when they had the Avon and what was it, Amway and all of these different companies, and the pyramid is you have the pyramid, and the person at the top is the person. You have to sign, this person has to sign these people up. If I sign up these amount of people, then I can earn this money. And then these people are required to sign these people up. And so forth and so on. But nobody makes money in this pyramid unless we're signing people up. So I have to sell you a dream to get you to pay into this, and then you need to go and sell 10 other people the same dream and get them to pay into this in order for me to get $1. You see what I'm saying? And so forth. So nobody makes money unless we're signing more people up and selling this dream. So that's kind of like the pyramid. Okay.
Well, a pyramid is illegal. That's those sue things that they had out there. That's when you just keep giving a person money and you keep bringing them in, and money's being exchanged without any social security number or anything being transferred. That's illegal. We have what they call a network marketing system, just like that company you're mentioning, where here you can do two things. I'm a builder. I go out and build a large team. Some people might want to do that, but if you do not bring in one single person in our business, that's fine. We can still show you how to be a millionaire. And that's the difference between us and them. They want you to go sell, sell, sell. We can show you how to get money through getting your credit score higher, eliminating your debt, paying your children, stop paying so many taxes, put an extra $300 to $500 in your pocket. These are the things we teach and not recruit one single person. That's why in the last 30 days, we put in over 10,000 people in my econ. There's no other company out there has ever done that. We done that, and we are growing so fast. So no, you don't have to recruit one person. But if you do want to recruit, we will show you how to do that, and we show you how to make a whole lot more money. But you do not have to recruit not one single person.
Okay. Well, that's good. So y'all heard that, because and people wonder about that. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's a legit concern sometimes, because you don't know who's trying to take advantage of you nowadays with social media. And it used to just be the telemarketer on the phone, but now you have people that's doing fancy flyers, and you know what I'm saying? And they get out here on these Instagram posts or whatever, and they tell you how they can make you rich, and you see these stacks of money and money phones, and to the point where I just delete those requests. I don't even accept those follow requests. I just delete them, because a lot of times it is BS, for lack of a better term.
That is true. And then you look at it, you got people, and then when you think of our concept, it's just like when you buy a car. When you sit down with the salesperson, when you're ready to buy, he go get the finance manager, right?
Mhm.
And then the finance manager, he has what they call the dealership manager, the regional, the person in charge of the dealership. And then you got the owner of the dealership, and then you got Ford Motor Company. So that salesperson is 4 or 5 people above them, right? So
Right.
you paid your money, and everybody above them got paid. So it's the same concept. Even when you do buy insurance to an insurance agency, everybody at the top get paid. So we got the same system as far as a networking system where you come in business, somebody get paid, then the next person get paid, the next person. That's if you want to do that. But like I said, I want to emphasize, you do not have to recruit one single person, zero. Let's get in, let's get your credit to 750, to lower your taxes, let's pay your children, let's put more money in your pocket through your W-4, correcting that the right way. And let's do what most Americans don't do. Let's get out of debt.
Amen to that. Amen to debt
Yes.
free.
That's right. Debt free. They say debt free is the new sexy.
Oh, okay. Thank you. No, I'm just no, I'm just joking with you. But yeah, so I hope everybody learned something today. More importantly, I hope you guys do reach out, and if you want to grow and build yourself up into a financially stable position where you don't have to worry about robbing Peter to pay Paul, something my mama used to say, then reach out to Mr. Mitchell, allow him to give you this education, allow him to take you on this journey to financial freedom, becoming debt free, increasing your credit score, and building something that is independent for you and your family, to where no one can, your boss can't come in and fire you from this, and now your income is gone, because this is something that you're working and building for yourself and your family. Mr. Mitchell, give us your contact information so I can put it in the description. It'll be in the description box on how to contact Mr. Mitchell if you want to learn more, if you want to invest in yourself by joining his team.
Okay, I'll give you both my telephone numbers. First number is 980-292-3212. That's my office number, or you can call me on my cell at 313-770-0650.
Okay, and of course I have your IG already.
Yep, C. Mitchell 1963, right? Yep.
And your Facebook is also
Craig Mitchell. Yep, that's it.
I knew that.
Yep.
Well, thank you. Do you want to leave us with any final thoughts, any inspiration?
Only thing I want to say is thank you for having me. I pray that you continue great success with Faithfully Her. I know you're seeking other business owners, so I wish you much success. And for your viewers to take me up on my offer for the $19.95. It's going to go up to $39.95 after the offer. So you're going to save $20 today or by February 1st. Don't hesitate. Let's start let's break the generational curse of finances. If you are living paycheck to paycheck, and if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, please allow me to help you, because I help thousands of people throughout this country, and I have more room to help more people. So
Amen.
See you all at the top.
Amen. Look at that. I like that. See you at the top, boo. No, I like that. That gave me some fire. I feel like I could go and jump on the treadmill for about 30, 40 minutes now. That fired me up. So
get on the elliptical. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mitchell. You and I have been Facebook buddies and Instagram buddies for about a year now. I think I met you after my heart attack. Yes. So thank you so much for coming on and sharing your wisdom, giving us the information. And I am going to put all of this information in the description box so people can contact you.
Yes.
And reach out to you. I am going to do everything I can, to help. I'm all about promoting each other.
Yes.
In this life, it doesn't make sense for me to have all of whatever if I'm not doing something to help somebody else.
That's true.
That's my philosophy, that Jesus came down here to help the poor man, not the rich man. He came to the gutter and found me. Yes. So I feel like that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to lend a helping hand to somebody else and help pull them up. Yes. And not kick them down. So hopefully this will help pull you guys up.
Yes.
Out of your comfort zone. Take the risk. Bet on yourself. You deserve this. You deserve to be free of mind from how many bills you have coming in next week. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
Invest in yourself. If you don't invest in you, nobody else will.
That's
and
true.
I'm a living witness of that. I took the chance on myself and created a business. Is it making money right now? Nope. But I'm happy in what I created. And I know I keep working it and if I keep investing in myself and keep doing it, at some point in time, I'll see a return.
That's right.
Then I'm okay with putting in the work.
Yes.
So what's that saying? If you build it, they will come.
That's right.
So bet on yourself, invest in yourself, and know that nobody loves you like you gonna love you.
That's right.
So get out here and do it for yourself, okay?
Yes.
Mr. Mitchell, thank you again for coming in. Thanks everybody for tuning in to Faithfully Her today. I want you all to have a blessed week in Christ, okay?
Yes.
Thank you all. I'm going to talk to you in a few.
All right. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.